Christy Tedesco, Paul Sakala, and Matt Brode. This is News 4 Tucson, live at 10.
Welcome back. Of the 122 people now sitting on Arizona's death row, 27 of them killed children. A man named Richard Greenway was 19 years old when he murdered an Amphi High School student and her 40-year-old mother. And tonight, your tax dollars are still being spent to keep him alive and to get him off death row. Christy here with more on a story that's been a long time forming.
Long time coming, yeah. Mindy Peters was a classmate of mine when we were both at Amphi High School. And that's when Richard Greenway and his 16-year-old accomplice went to her home and committed that double murder. One of the sweetest girls at Amphi High gunned down for her mom's Porsche and some stereo equipment. Tonight, how much you've paid so far for Greenway's trial and appeals. My Christie's Kids investigation. March 27, 1988, Mindy Peters and Lily Champagne were murdered in their Northeast Foothills home. The killers took off with Lily's Porsche and some electronics. More lives shattered than anyone could imagine.
It really creates a hole in you that's impossible to fill.
Mindy's older brother Vince lost his sister and mother that day, and 10 years before that, he'd lost his father in a car crash. Decorated Marine and TPD officer Vincent Carl Peters. Young Vince lost everyone.
I miss my mother and I'll miss my father, but with her, it's just, I'll never be whole again. You expect your parents to leave you, but my sister, she was for me.
Mindy was for Vince and for Kathy, Mindy's half-sister, who would have been home the night of the murders if her father hadn't insisted she be with him. Kathy wants Tucson to know
that they were beautiful people, that they're sorely missed.
She won't show her face because the legal process isn't over. Greenway is still filing appeals, most recently claiming he didn't get good representation at trial. The trial cost taxpayers more than $115,000. His state appeals another $127,000. And at the federal level, $66,000 more dollars. Although the court hasn't been billed since 2007, Greenway's attorneys are still filing motions. They're just not filing for payment yet. Kathy says it's maddening.
And it's sickening that the state would put any kind of money into him to support him or to allow him to do any kind of appeals.
Greenway's accomplice, Christopher Derrick Lincoln, has spent 26 years behind bars. He'll be up for parole again in June. Do you think Richard Greenway should die?
I am pro-death penalty, believe it or not. If you kill somebody, I believe you should go down that same road.
According to Lincoln, Greenway lured him to the crime scene when he was just 16, promising burglary, 50% of whatever was taken. He testified against Greenway at trial and says he is beyond sorry. He wishes he could go back.
I'd have tried to stop him.
Do you think you could have?
I don't know, but I didn't try. And that's what eats at me. I didn't try.
They were actually taking buses.
Vince believes if Mindy had a say, she'd say forgive.
If she had seen this happen to somebody else, she would say, well, that person who did that just needs to be forgiven.
In my opinion, maybe that he does deserve a second chance, but Greenway, he's sick. I'm sure that, death would probably be the best thing for him.
Bob Hirsch with Pima County's court-appointed counsel has been fighting death cases for decades. His office has billed more than 10 million tax dollars.
I think it's a terrible waste of tax money. I don't think it does a bit of good. It serves no deterrent value. And there have been studies that shown that it serves no deterrent value. And yet we have it here.
Everybody knows her.
I asked Vince what he thinks of that. He said for some, death is just essential. Perfect for a guy like Greenway.
The criminal system's a little too patient with the people who instigate these kind of crimes and not with the victims. The easiest thing for him would be if the sentence were carried out and he was just to leave the life that he's already obviously made a mess of.
Richard Greenway denied my request for an interview. Christopher Derek Lincoln, he's been working as a painter in prison, and he says if he's granted parole in June, he'll go to a halfway house in Arizona, and then he'd like to move to Kentucky, where he has family. Mindy and Lily will be remembered for their exceptional kindness, mother and daughter beauties inside and out. If you have a story you'd like me to investigate, send an email to Christie'sKids@KVOA.com.